Okay. Okay, welcome back. So we're just continuing from our previous question. You can see that I'm using the exact same model. I'm not redrawing any models because if you're gonna redraw stuff again with the specific values and stuff, it's gonna just make your life a living hell. So moving to the next question. Okay, let's just get our PDF up. So I already done all of this PVC. Moving to the next question. I would suggest that as soon as you see, okay, right? So go to the question, see what they ask. In this case, again, the material is PVC, so you're lucky. You don't need to change the material. Before you make any other change, before you do any other modeling, I would suggest you changing these values, right? So A change to 70C, 67, B 19, and then C is 34. So I can see that the C is the same as in the previous question, and A is only 10 more, but I'll have to do that. And then the material is PVC. But in this case, I'm just gonna change this material, and I'm just gonna say this is a brass. So I'm just gonna model this as if this is a brass part. Okay, so I'm gonna take that away, and I'm gonna say that's do that. Create a comment. Place a comment here. Huh? Comment. So I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna use brass. Okay. So the material will be brass in this case, right? So yeah. So see the note. The note is brass. So I'm just gonna use that as brass. So before I do any other modeling, before I cut away what I need to cut and do all of those funny things, I'm just gonna change the values that I know that I was given. So I know that this value A is 67, so I change it. The B is 19, just change it. C is 34, change it. I go to change my material just to make sure that I don't forget. Say I'm gonna change that to brass. Okay, so I just want to check whether the correct material is applied. So let's assign a new material. You can see that brass is highlighted with a green check mark. So brass is applied and the PVC is removed from the material list. Okay. So now I go back. I know I don't have to worry about this because I already fixed this. What makes it nice to fix this already is that when you model, everything will be in relation already. So it's actually a good idea. So now I can see that I have this cutout of a 19 and then a 9. In this case, I know that I'll have to make a cutout on that face, and the cutout will have to look something. So it'll be a circle. Okay, just in this. So the cutout will be something like this, and then there'll be a circle, and then something like this, and then of course that. Okay. Okay, so I know that will be the cutout that I'll have to make. Right, so there's the cutout, and that. Okay, I can maybe put. Oh no, that's not necessary actually. I can just take that out. Yeah. So this is something that I'm gonna draw. Then I'm gonna make use of the mirror feature. For this one, oh, where's that cutout? So according to the alphabet of lines, this is a section line. So it shows if this thing is cut, what the figure will look like if I look at it from that direction. And that is given here, and I can see there's a 38, right? So it's 38 deep. With this one, I'm gonna draw on the top view and extrude upwards. That would be the easiest. Instead of drawing on the front view, you can draw in the front view and extrude in as well, but then you'll have to make sure that this height of the thing that you're going to cut out is sufficient. So I don't want to worry about whether this height is high enough and so on. I'm just going to draw it on the top view. In the top view, I can place this dimension, I can place in the top view. I can place this dimension in the top view. And I can place this dimension in the top view. So those 3 dimensions is defining that cutout. So the best place to put it is in that specific top view, which is this will be the top view, right? But I see now that the top view is not going to work for this cutout. So I'm going to use this bottom face. And then I'm just going to extrude everything upwards. So you can extrude it upwards, you can extrude it downwards, you can extrude it from this side. But because of the fact that I can incorporate all of these dimensions within one sketch. So if I need to change something, I have one sketch that I have to go and change. Okay. So, and then I can use extrude, cut all through all to basically just do the rest. Okay, so it's 7, 7, and 38. So I have my dimensions. Go back to NX. Okay, so if I decide to draw on this, I will have to make sure that the height is correct. Otherwise, if the height is not right, it will not cut away all of the stuff. So I don't want to worry about that. So I'm just going to draw on the bottom face. So let me just orientate it as such. Put a sketch. Where do I want this thing to be? Doesn't matter. Sketch origin can be here. It doesn't matter. I will just link it with one of these lines. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Okay. So what makes NX nice is that you can use faces or edges. All right. So there I know there's a 7 defined like that, and I know there's a 7 defined like that. Right. Because this is some symmetry, and in the follow-up questions, you can get away with doing something in this line. You can get away with doing something in this line where you say you want a point on curve constraint between that and that midpoint. And then you just need to worry about this. This is 38, right? But the dimensions is not given with a point on curve constraint. It's given with a dimension. So I'm not going to use that. Even though it's going to work, don't use it, because that's not the true design intent of the designer. He wants you to put in that dimension, so you place it as such. You see what makes the sketching on this specific surface nice is that you have a fully constrained sketch, and all of the dimensions that govern that cutout is in one sketch. So if I need to edit something, I know I can just have to go to one sketch. I don't have to worry about other sketches and how it works. So I can just go to finish up here. It's fine. I don't want it that way. And I have it symmetric. Make my extrude. Change the direction. When you can't change values here. If you want to change this value, you have to go on the equal sign, make constant, and then you'll be able to change this value. Let's say 90, right? But in this case, I want to build intelligence into my model. So if you give a specific value and the height here changed, the 36 changed to something else, this will move, and then your cut won't be through all. So you know that throughout the analysis, looking at the different follow-up questions, I saw that, you know what, this thing will always go straight through. So I can use that specific end condition to simulate that. Okay? So I can apply. So now I know if for some reason the designer thinks that this must be cut, this value should change, that cutout won't be affected, because doesn't matter what this will be, it will always go through all. Okay, so that's fine, right? Let me make this sketch internal. I'm not going to use it anymore, so just clean up my tree a bit. You don't need to do that. You can leave the sketch, personal preferences and so on. You can actually do this as well. But the problem with doing this, whenever you need to make a change on the part, you'll have to go into the sketch, get access to the sketch. So that's a long way to do it, but I know that it will be fine. All of the dimensions has changed. It's not within the sketch, it's in the user expression. So having my sketch fully constrained makes it a lot easier. So now the next part, let me do that. So I'm just gonna draw another sketch. In this case, I'm just gonna use that plane. So I'm not putting in different planes and stuff. I'm using the face as my plane. And okay, so now having that, there's a few ways you can do this now. I will try and show both. Yeah, so you can go and make use of a project curve, right? So once you make use of project curve, you can select specific curves. Okay, so those are the ones that I'm going to use, right? So that's fine. Project curve. So it means that I can use edges that's already there to help me draw a bit faster. And you can see that the sketch is fully constrained. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens to that sketch if I change this to 70. 70. Let's change, yeah. Okay, so I can see that it moves with it, so I'm happy. So it doesn't matter what, let me change this back. So I can use that in my sketch, so I can do that. Okay, next thing, so I'm gonna use a circle, right? And then I'm gonna use a straight line to just okay. See, it already wants to give me tangency. I don't want tangency, so I'm just gonna draw a line just like this. Okay, make it horizontal. Oops, make it horizontal. And then I'm gonna make use of the trim. So this would be excess material. That would be excess. That would be excess. That would be. That would be. And that would be. Okay, looking at my sketch. Oh, nice. Auto dimension is agreeing. You can just put in a 9. And here, what's this dimension? Just see what that dimension is. Oops, this way. That dimension. Radius 19. So I want to put a radius, and it must be 19. Of course, you can use diameter. Doesn't matter. Again, I don't continue. If my sketch is not fully constrained, I do nothing. I just continue. I want to make sure my sketch is fully constrained. But sometimes in exam situations, just go on. Maybe you might get lucky. So there's my sketch. I can do the extrude. Okay, change my direction. And I know that according to this, I don't need to put in any, you can put in a plane to specify that it should go up to that plane, but it's not necessary because the extrude will always be 6, right? So I'm just going to put in a 6 here. 6. Okay. You can hide that. So now, once I'm done with that, I can go to mirror feature. I can select the feature I want to mirror, and then I can select the plane. Because I know throughout my analysis, I know that this is a symmetric thing, so I can select that plane. Okay, so there's the plane around which the sketch will be mirrored. You can show a result, like, okay, that is what is intended. And then that's done. Right? Okay, so all of the changes are made. Again, same thing. Show mesh properties, update mesh properties, get the value. You can somehow copy and paste it from here. Doesn't matter. Control C to copy it. Okay, so I'm just gonna suppress these two. I'm just gonna suppress this. Let me suppress this. Okay, so you can use convert edges and stuff like that. Let me suppress this one as well. I'm gonna draw on the other side. Different way of drawing it, or on the same side, but let me just draw on this side. So again, sketch. I want my origin to be sort of like that. I want it there, so I can place it there. So another alternative way to do it is to draw circles. So I know that, see, because of the tendency with the other face, so you can make it equal radius or whatever you want to do. Let's use that. So I want this one and that one to have equal radius. See, that's good. That's fine. Okay. But you see, by not optimally using the project curves, there's a longer route for you to follow, right? And then with this one, I'm just going to put in a circle. This. Note how I select it. Okay, so when you select, you actually have to make sure that there's a cross, right? So there's a cross with a circle in it. So if I want to select the curve only, I select with a specific section of the cross, like the lower part of the cross. If it turns red, I know that I'm selecting the arc, right? If I do this, right, you can see that the center point lights up, so I'll be selecting the center in that case. Or it will give me a selection to do. What do we want to select? Do we want to select the center of the arc, or do you want to the center point of the arc, or do you want to select the arc itself? So you can select the arc itself. This case, let me just see there again. It wants me to select the center. Here I want to just select the edge, so I make sure that only the top part of my. Okay, let's do that. And I right click and I say, you know what, this is concentric. Okay, and you know what, this line, so I can do geometric constraints. This one should be equal radius with that. Okay, and then of course the same thing. So what I'm trying to show is that the way that you think is not wrong. It's just maybe the execution might be a little bit too long for what you want to achieve, right? Because sometimes you'll still get to the same answer with a longer route. Okay, in this case, it must be 9. See? Okay, but this is wrong. This is wrong, you see? You're prone. There's a radius 19. Okay, so this is not right. Boom, 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 undo, undo, undo. Right, so that's that radius. You can see how confusion would set in, but it's a good thing it's happening because you always have to be aware of such. So let me just undo a bit more so that I can have that line again. Then I can put in the circle. And now I can make this radius 19. Okay, so that's the emitter 19. It should be radius 19. Okay, so now I know that, okay, this line should be on that one. Okay, so that's a lot better. Now I can just trim away the material, the sketch entities. Don't want that. Don't want this. Don't want this. Don't want this. Then of course, from that line to that one, that's 9. Yeah, that looks right. Again, sketch is fully constrained. And now I can just draw, change the direction. Okay, so just put this internally, and then I'm just gonna unsuppress that one. See? Okay, so there's an error. It's an error in the extrude. See what's causing the error. Some sketches references become out of date. Okay, so it has to do with the references because this extrude is making nonsense. Yeah. So yeah, so we'll see the reference. The reference is moved due to a previous edit. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So basically, it was affected by that mirror feature, or just moving up and down the tree. Let's see if it works. Okay, so sometimes, yeah, looks like those two needs to be together. But anyway, it's the same thing, just a different flavor. Okay, so you can make use of Project Curve to use edges and convert it into sketch entities within an existing sketch. That will allow you to basically create the sketch much faster. Okay, I will leave it at that. Thank you for joining me.